Well, we're lucky to have Jim Stone with us this morning to discuss his perspectives on several different important themes contained in this vision document. The importance of working with others for conserving entire landscapes for the benefit of both wildlife and for people and communities. Jim's a native Montanan. He graduated from Montana State University in 1983 and took over his family's ranch in 1984. He's the essential rural community leader, and those of you who live in rural communities, you know that means he's on the fire department, he's on the school board, the county planning boards and weed boards, but he's also a founding member and current chair of the well-known Blackfoot Challenge of the Blackfoot Valley of Montana. For those of you who don't know anything about the Blackfoot Challenge, it's a consensus-based public-private partnership that develops solutions to resources challenges in the valley. And these are solutions that are sustainable because they're developed by people who both live and work there. Jim's worked for 18 years on his ranch to help restore the Hoyt Creek in the Blackfoot Valley and build capacity for cooperative conservation. He began working with the Services Partners for Fish and Wildlife Program on resource issues that could provide benefits to his ranch and to wildlife. And over the year, trust has built working across the kitchen table. Today, the Blackfoot Challenge is an expanding model of cooperative conservation in the West. And it's widely touted as a national model for landscape-scale conservation, in large part due to Jim Stone's vision, leadership, and hard work. Please join me in welcoming Jim Stone to the stage.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. Holy cow. There's a lot of people here. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever we're at this morning. How are you? How's everybody doing? I kind of feel like the Monty Hall and The Price is Right. Jim Stone, come on down. I don't know what I'm here for, but we're going to have a good time. I'll tell you that. These cameramen are going to have a little tough time. I like to walk around a lot, so be patient with me. So I always start out with a little bit of a story. The federal government's always up for trying these creative things, and one of the things they talked about was how the human mind would work put under extreme pressure, kind of like a rancher is. You know, if they put, just how can they function? So they rented this large warehouse, put these just huge wrecking balls inside this warehouse. You know, doggone it, those German engineers, they're sharp, we'll get a couple of them. They brought them over. They said, we're going to put you in this warehouse for a couple of weeks. We're going to come back, see how you did. Same thing, go out there. I talk fast because I see all these green red lights is going to kill me. I'm going to be out of time. Anyway, they go, come open the door. Here are these two German engineers. They're sitting on this luxury automobile, swinging their feet, going, man, this thing just rocks. This thing will go 90 miles an hour. It's got all the bells and whistles. What else do you want? I'm like, well, that's pretty good. Okay, well, the federal government, you know, they can't just do one part of a study. They got to do more than that. So let's go to the next level. Well, the Japanese guys, they're sharp. Brought a couple Japanese engineers in. Boy, same thing. 2 weeks, came back, opened the door. They had this little tiny computer, and they're just like, we've solved all the health issues. Come on, what do you need? Come on, conservation? You're kidding me. We know all the answers. What do you want to do? Right? Same thing. The federal government, you know, that's like a two-legged stool. Nobody can sit on that. We need a third leg. Well, what the hell are we going to do about that? Oh, those rancher types, they're pretty sharp. So they come to Ovando, and they go, hey, a couple of you guys jump in that room there. We'll see how you guys can do. Come back 2 weeks later. Then if those ranchers hadn't lost one of those wrecking balls and broke the other one. So that tells you, that's all I got for you. Any questions? Or no, not really. That's why they give you one of these. I'm not a PowerPoint guy, but it's only got one button. It's green. Come on, Jim, you can step up. You can do all this. Okay, we are here to talk about conservation. You know, conservation wasn't sexy in the 70s. Not that I remember real well about that, but I know as my folks were in the ranching business, guest ranching business, they had all kinds of issues coming their way, resource issues that were putting pressure on them. They had to step up and say, you know, we really need to solve these issues, or we're not going to be in this ranching business at all. And it was really the first time in Montana and in the Blackfoot where landowners said, you know, we don't always like these guys that they call agency folks and work together. We're going to have to bring them in here to solve some of these resource issues. And they did that. And this is the beginning of what I think all of you are here. The reason I'm here is building trust and credibility. All of you are an amazing resource to us as landowners across this country. But we've got to be able to trust in you, and you have to be able to trust and ensure credibility that we're going to do the right thing on the ground. A very special story for me, my folks. In '85, I get out of college, and of course I know everything. I'm not going to talk about my degree because that'll compromise me up here. But my folks are very unique. If you've been in the agriculture business a lot, sometimes there's third, fourth generation still on the same ranch trying to compete, jockey for position. My folks walked on, and I hadn't been out of school a month, and my father walked up and said, "Oh, the gentleman's managing the ranch retiring, Jim. Do you want the ranch?" And being the smart individual that I thought I was, I said, "Oh, you bet, Dad, you bet." And I say after that it was the scariest 6 years of my life trying to figure out how I was going to do that. The point there is that they gave me an amazing, valuable resource. And at that time, I was a cow guy. Smart, all that stuff coming on. Did I care about fish? Did I care about wildlife? Maybe. We hunted a little bit. Didn't like water, so I don't fish. So what was the point of that? I was worried about my cows. How do you think that transcribed into what we were doing management on the ranch? Today, we run our ranch as a partnership with 160 plus partners that come help us work. You know how we manage our ranch now? We base our grazing structure, weight of our cows, calves, on fish. They are the indicator of how we're managing our ranch. No, that's not, I don't know, what's that, 25 years, something like that. Do you know what changed my life in that? What brought me to that? There's some program you guys have called Partners for Fish and Wildlife. It saved our ranch. Absolutely changed my life. I've got an 11-year-old son that's cutting hay today in a small little piece. Got him pretty well corralled, I think. That's what's going to keep him on that landscape, guys. That's very special in my life, and it should be really special to all of you who've helped us do that. So what we're here to talk about today a little bit is the Blackfoot Challenge. We had to come up with some way for us to communicate, build, exchange this trust. We've been blaming you all for all of our problems for many years. You know what our problem's been? Is landowners don't like to talk to each other either. We've been the ones not doing our job. This group here is about conserving and protecting the natural resources and rural way of life in Montana, in the Blackfoot. We're getting the job done because we're consensus building. We do things, we show success on the ground, and we include everyone. My folks told me once, you better have everybody at the table, Jim, or you're going to get burned. And that's a lesson we take very seriously today, is to make sure everyone's in this part of the world is involved in this. And when you do that, success is unbelievable. So we got a few little projects, we just got a couple we've been working on. Oops. Sorry about that. So this is, as a lot of people talk about, the crown of the continent. The black outline is Blackfoot Valley, 1.5 million acres. Very diverse, about 65% public ownership, 20%, a little less than 20% of corporate timber, the rest balance being private landowners. You notice those red blocks in there? Those are conservation easements. This is 1993. I don't know, Gary, maybe 10, 20,000 acres. Probably doesn't add up to that. We're just going to blip on. 2011. Yeah, give yourself a hand. You know what happened here? This is what they did in the 70s. This was this trust credibility building. This is about landowners ground up taking an interest in their future. That is working with people like yourselves in this room without worrying about what you wear. I was scared to death. I thought I hadn't got the memo about wearing a tie. You guys are wearing shorts. I was like, well, God, they'd have liked to seen me in shorts up here. Wouldn't have been a big deal. Yeah, it would have been a scary deal, I'll tell you that. This is a complex thing to talk about. I'm just going to really run through it fast. But we're talking, in those red areas, 250,000 acres. That's amazing. It is outside that black line. That's telling us we're expanding. We're not worried about just our backyard. We're worrying about the people on the east front. We're worried about people in the Swan Valley to the north. We're even worried about our great neighbors in Canada. How do we meld all this together? This is absolutely unbelievable. This was a project that started from the ground up about asking the Nature Conservancy, Plum Creek Timber to come together, and how could we buy 89,000 acres? The Nature Conservancy was a bank. At the end of the day, they'll not own an acre of land. It went to public, private, all done through a community process. The communities, the 8 different communities in this valley said, this is what we want. Yeah, Forest Service, great partner. BLM, we'd like them to have that. We need these accesses. We need this recreational values. We need grazing permits. We need to maintain this. We need to maintain the integrity of this rural landscape. That's what we got done. Absolutely incredible. Guys know this character? Well, a couple of ranchers, but Conrad Burns. Now, some of you go, I don't know about that guy, Jim. I said the same thing. But it talks about how advanced we're becoming in working in your process, working with people in Washington, D.C. We are not capable of sitting on our hands in Ovando, Montana, whining about what we can and cannot do. We have to be out there solving these issues. The political system works extremely well when we tell the story. You give me the education. I'm not smart enough to understand this stuff. But with you as a partner behind me and we go together, you talk about sustainability of these conservation programs, Partners for Fish and Wildlife, whatever it is, it's tied. We're all tied together. Conrad Burns sat on my porch and he said, you know, God, he's an old cow buyer, auctioneer, and he goes, all the partners were there, and he goes, boy, I don't like that Forest Service guys. I don't like them. Fish and Wildlife Service don't like them a whole lot better either. BLM now, they kind of work with you boys, don't they? Grazing leases? Yep, Conrad, they sure do. Well, good. At the end of the day, took out his pencil and he says, boys, what's this going to cost me? I don't know, Gary said 73 million or something. You know, all of us are going, 73 million. He wrote it down, he put it back, and the words that I'll never miss is that he said, you know, if this thing's homegrown, I'll support it. We got to take that message home. Every one of you can do that in your neighborhood. Now, I've been kicking dirt and cow manure and whatever else, fingers dirty, thinking that the resource is where I'm at. That's my future, right? 5, 6 years ago, I don't know whether I got blinded by a lightning bolt or what, but you know what it is? You know what we have? The transferability? It's people. These landscapes are fragile, but we got to have the people that have the passion, the heart to change, make change, do these things, keep working ranches on the land. That's what we need. These guys have solved that. We have to get involved. It's totally incredible how this changes. And this is just sort of this, isn't that a perfect, we're fence builders, right? You got to do it one step at a time. I'm going to offer up, I'm not very good at the English language, but we talk landscape conservation. I don't know if if somebody went, well, Jim, would you write that down on a piece of paper, what that definition means? Probably everybody in this room would come up with a different one. I'd just have about 10 words spelled wrong. Nobody would understand what I said. I'll tell you what I think's different is why we have examples like this across the country. This is not unique to the Blackfoot. We're just real proud to be able to say we're part of that. I think we should term it landscape conversation. Because you cannot get to landscape conservation without this. And if it's the only thing I leave you with is that we've had amazing partnerships with the service, with a whole host of folks that have allowed us to have that conversation. We have what we call the 80-20 rule. It's really created by a 5th, 6th generation ranch in Helmville, Montana, big cattle ranch, 2,500 cows. Very thoughtful individual. He said this 80-20 rule, what the heck would that mean? So when we talk Blackfoot Challenge, consensus building, we sit down every once a month and we talk and we struggle through some stuff. Is that we say, we're going to leave this sort of, Jim Stone's always got that ego and chip on his shoulder. We'll knock that off at the doorway. But at the end of the day, we're going to try and believe that we're going to agree on the 80%. You know what human nature is? I see this gentleman, he's going, Jim, I don't like cows. Whew, you're a bad dude. And we'll get hung up on that 20%, and we leave the room. You come to the Blackfoot, it's not about lawyers, it's not about any of that stuff. You leave that baggage at the door, and we talk issues. That gets us through, that we actually see stuff happen on the ground. When you get stuff moving on the ground, show those successes, you'll get landowners popping an eyelid going, how did you do that? That's a good deal. So our motto is, we're always going to work towards that 20%, guaranteed. But it's so important that we sit down and talk to each other. Now, I'm going to go back. Tamara and I are having a conversation last night, and as she would always say, that agencies have to change. And, well, I'm going to be a hard case rancher and tell you, I'm not so worried about you all. I'm pretty worried about us. We need to change. And if we don't do it pretty quick, we're all going to be in trouble. And then you all are in trouble. So we need to quit whining about why we can't do things and find reasons we can. And thanks to this service, 2006, we were awarded $100,000 through the Harvard Business School, Innovations in American Government. Now, when you put ranchers in a room and talk innovation, it's a stretch. Believe me, we had to really fight that. Gary had to come up and save me a couple times on that. But what our innovation was, transferability. If we stick our head in the sand in the Blackfoot and go, yeah, we're fence builders in the Blackfoot, we're not worried about the guys on the east side, or we're not worried about Bill Sproul in Kansas or Dina Moore in California, we're in trouble. And this program is about bringing landowners from across this country together. We've been doing this since 2006. We got about 20 landowners. Our goal, let's hope in the next year or two, is to get landowners from each state that will come together once or twice a year. We're going to have this private lands network that when we go out and we get a call from Rick Coleman in Denver, Dan, D.C., we need some help with the program. It isn't just Jim Stone spouting all this stuff about how great we are in the Blackfoot. We're going to be able to target and say it comes from the heart of all the folks on the ground. And the one thing that's amazing to me is that if I've met those 20 different landowners, we have so much in common. The Tallgrass Prairie to the Blackfoot's not that much different. California, my God, I never thought I would say that. They got a lot of stuff going. Something red toad, something lizard or something, I don't know. Anyway, there is so much more. It's that 80-20 rule. We got so much more in common, and I think we can help all of you. And it's about damn time that landowners have come to help all of you. So I'm pledging today, and thank you so much. It's an honor to be here amongst great friends that I've met and then that I've known a number of years. You guys are amazing, amazing conservationists. Don't ask me to spell it. But takeaway this week, I apologize. I got to whip home and make sure my son isn't cutting the whole place down tonight. And take with the fact that landowners from Montana across this country are looking at you for answers. And when you do that, we're going to do our very, very best to do the best we can on the ground. So it's a yellow light. I can still run. So thank you all very much. Enjoy your amazing, amazing group of people. Thank you so much.